If you do plan on taking before and after pictures, to get the most accurate before and after picture possible, you want to make sure that you always take them under the exact same conditions. You want to make sure that the background is the same, the lighting is the same, you're taking the picture at the exact same time of day, and you want to make sure that the posture is exactly the same. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another Carnivore Q&A. Steven here with TV4Work, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to take before and after photos, and this becomes because of a post I saw in a World Carnivore Tribe group where a member had recently shared this post. Posting this picture after some people yesterday said I was just pushing my belly out or bloated. No, I lost a lot of fat and gained a good amount of lean mass. The picture on the right was taken this morning after my breakfast of 10 eggs and butter. Now, with regard to this post right over here, the reason that a lot of people think that this woman was sticking her belly out, there are a few reasons, but number one, it's going to come down to posture. If you look at the difference between the photo on the left, the before picture, and the after photo, there is a huge difference in the way that she took the picture with regard to her postural positioning. Now, with regard to posture, just a quick little side note, but I did do a few videos on how to assess posture a few years back. If you are interested, you can check out this video right up over here, but let's take a look at this picture right over here. With regard to the posture, on the right, she is standing a lot taller. When you stand taller, it's going to make you look a lot better. Another thing is if you look at the picture on the left, you can see excessive anteversion or an anterior pelvic tilt. When you have excessive anteversion, that's often going to be coupled with hyperlordosis of the lumbar spine or excessive extension. That is when your belly starts to stick out. When you have hyperlordosis, it's going to give the illusion that your belly is protruding. Now, aside from that, the next thing we have to look at is the hips. When we look at the picture on the before, both hips are going to be flexed. When you end up flexing both hips, what happens is you're going to create a lot of myofascial tension on the muscles of the hip that are responsible for hip extension. That is going to be your gluteus maximus, the posterior fibers of both your gluteus medius and minimus, and muscles such as your semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and the long head of your biceps femoris. And then contrast that to the picture on the right, we can see that the left hip is in extension and the right hip is flexed. When we end up going into extension of the hip, all of those muscles that were under tension are now going to be activated. So your gluteus maximus, your gluteus medius, your gluteus minimus, and your semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and biceps femoris, those are all going to be activated when you end up extending your hip. This is going to be beneficial for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is going to make your butt pop out a little bit more, which is going to make everything else look nicer by comparison. And then the second benefit is all of those muscles that I just listed are also responsible for retroversion of the pelvis, which is the opposite of anteversion. It is a posterior pelvic tilt. So when you posteriorly tilt the pelvis, what's going to happen is you are going to neutralize that lordosis in that lumbar spine. So instead of getting hyperlordosis where you have excessive extension, what's going to happen is you are going to have a normal lordotic curve. And that is going to give the illusion of a more narrow waist. Now, aside from that, the other thing that we notice is on the picture on the left, she is taking the photo with her left hand. When she's taking the photo with her left hand, her left shoulder is going to go into extension. When you go into extension of the left shoulder, what happens is your chest cavity is generally going to, collapse. And when you collapse, it's going to make your chest, your belly stick out a little bit more. So that could be one of the reasons why it's giving the illusion that she's sticking out her belly. Contrast this with the photo on the right. On the photo on the right, she's using her right hand to take a picture. And when she takes her right hand, she is going into flexion, adduction, and medial rotation of the shoulder joint. When we look at those three specific movements, flexion, adduction, medial rotation, what muscles are responsible for that? Well, we have the anterior deltoid, which is the front of the shoulder, and we have the pectoralis major. When you end up activating the anterior deltoid and the pectoralis major, your shoulders are going to pop out a little bit more. That's going to make your shoulders have a more broad appearance, and by comparison, it's going to make your waist look a lot more narrow. And then also, because she's using her right hand to take the photo, this brings us to the fourth part of why a lot of people think that she was sticking out her belly in the first picture. When you end up using your right hand, what you have to do is rotate your torso in order to take that picture, as opposed to when I'm taking it like this. So by using the right hand, I do have to rotate my torso a little bit. And when I end up rotating my torso, what happens is I'm going to activate on the right side the contralateral torso rotators. That is going to be muscles such as your external oblique. And then on the left side, I'm activating the ipsilateral torso rotators. And that is going to be things such as your internal obliques. This is going to serve as a couple functions. Number one, you're going to activate those muscles, which is going to tighten up the core a little bit and give you a narrower appearance of the waist. The second thing is when you end up rotating the torso, you are going to show off more of your latissimus dorsi, and then also your glenohumeral joints or your shoulders, they are moving in opposite directions. When they move in opposite directions, that is going to give the appearance of a broader shoulder. When your shoulders are more broad and when you see more of the latissimus dorsi, then by comparison, your waist is going to look a lot smaller. So that is why a lot of people were confused by this picture and a lot of people thought that she was sticking out her belly. And then with regard to the torso rotation, you may have noticed that in a few of my new thumbnails, I've been experimenting with new thumbnails where I am pointing to a board. And in those specific thumbnails, I am rotating. Why do you think I'm rotating? Because when I rotate, my waist looks smaller, and when my waist looks smaller, I look better, and when I look better, people click on the thumbnails more, which is why I end up rotating in those specific pictures. But overall, those are a few of the reasons why some people thought that she was sticking out her belly. So, if you do plan on taking before and after pictures, to get the most accurate before and after picture possible, you want to make sure that you always take them under the exact same conditions. You want to make sure that the background is the same, the lighting is the same, you're taking the picture at the exact same time of day, and you want to make sure that the posture is exactly the same. If you take your before picture with your arms down by your side, you don't want to take your after picture with your arms up over here, because that's going to skew the results a little bit. Same thing with regard to the actual positioning. Aside from just taking a front photo, you want to take one relaxed from the front, one from the side, one from behind, and then one from the other side. That way you get a good view of all of the different angles. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys have any questions at all with regard to anything that I discussed today, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section so I can help you guys out. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I'm going to be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.